Hello everyone, I'm Metaslave, and welcome to my Conquest Max Renown Efficiency. Today we're going to be doing the first few maps of Conquest itself, starting with Chapter 6. As I alluded to in the previous video, I'll be gender swapping and using male Corrin. I want plus magic, minus luck, or dragon talent. Or not magic, minus luck, minus HP, because I do not want to... Minus luck would lower your strength and magic growth a little bit, and I do not want that. I can afford to be minus HP, because of like the hilarious amount of stat boosters, like defensive boosters. Because you can never have too much offense, but you can have too much defense, or rather, overkill. Dragon talent is because Malachite is a very broken class when you have infinite stats, more or less, because of all the boosters. So that's what I'll be doing. And the plus magic is for extra trauma damage, since Corrin's innate magic is not that good. Magic plus magic also gives like the minor benefit of adding to your speed, so that's pretty nice. It's only a small boost though, not even close to what plus speed would give. So okay, traditionally this 2-turn clears of Chapter 6, which is like generally what you can be expected to go for, unless you get ganked by Sakura. Spoiler alert, I do. You put the servant in range of Yukimura so that they can counter and then finish off with Leo attack stance. But the thing is, Felicia's too weak to do the same thing of where Jacob just like has Leo adjacent and calls it a day. So I, put Camilla next to her to get Rose's Thorns boost. But that like has like the minor problem of using Camilla to attack Yukimura instead of Leo on enemy phase. But it is what it is. Corrin now finished off Takumi that Leo baited, and after Yukimura dies, Xander will come down and one-shot Hinoka. As you see, this Corrin stats are like look pretty good, but I nerfed them a little bit off screen because I feel like they're just too unrepresentative of what I want my strategies to like be relied on. But because I get so many I also just get so many boosters. Like it doesn't really look like Corrin's nerfed, so to speak. But yeah, what can you do? All right. So yeah, normally the map would end because you just one-shot Sakura here, but you can miss or you can get miracled, and then you say, "Oh, that's nice." And I did that here, and that's kind of just me saying, like, look, this is not an LTC, this is an efficiency, and things like that can happen when you're not close to 100% reliability. But we finished that, and there's Chapter 6 in 3 turns, but it should be 2. Now we're on Chapter 7. I use a bunch of boosters on Corrin, as you can see, that I got from all the Renown. All the Dragon Herbs, maxing out his move with boots, 2 secret books, and a Goddess Icon to make more hit, and a Seraph Robe, as well as the HP Tonic, because I would like him just have extra... Okay, so, yeah, just have extra bulk here is pretty nice, because I want to minimize damage from the boss, because even if... Like, Conquest enemies normally have smart AI where they don't attack you if they do 0 damage, but that doesn't apply to these faceless for some reason. So, yeah, Corrin also went Wyvern Rider, and because I couldn't build the armory, because I had to get the Heartsteel from the staff store, I don't have access to a bronze axe, which means I have to like use a slightly inaccurate raider axe, which means I try to make use of attack stance as much as I can here. And actually Felicia being not paired like stacks her personal -2 damage taken with Demoiselle, so it was taking absolutely nothing from these. But yeah, now the boss attacks, and the bot, like, these guys don't do any damage to Corrin, but like he still gets Corrin still gets his HP lowered because of Savage Blow and Grizzly Wound and stuff. But that's good, because we're about to get a unit whose personal skill is literally I get +3 damage dealt and -3 damage taken if Corrin's below half HP. So yeah, I love synergy when Corrin because Corrin doesn't care really about what any of these enemies are going to do, because they're really, really busted right now because of all the boosters. And now Silas. Silas is actually pretty important, as one might imagine, because, Cavalier's usually pretty good. But what he needs to do is he needs to promote by Chapter 9. This is why I have the Mozu Paralog, like, shoehorned between 8 and 9, like, as, like, kind of like a mandated map for this route, essentially, because I think the run becomes more interesting when I allow the extra map for promoted Silas, as well as for extra support points for Corrin and another unit that we'll be getting soon. Corrin's level ups are pretty juicy here, but I'm like I said, I'm not going to be reliant on good level ups here. And yeah, so Silas finishes off one faceless that attacked him. He's very low on health right now. But if the other attacks him, he'll just die. So that's why I freeze it with Elise. And Arthur and Effie move. Effie, unfortunately, she starts an Armor Knight, and like she doesn't really have a good way of getting out of it. And her stats are kind of like not really good enough to justify it for this kind of playthrough anyway. So she doesn't really do anything at all. Arthur, on the other hand, well, okay, so in this map, because he's nice enough to start with a hand axe, he will be weakening faceless for Silas at pretty questionable hit rates because his luck is like his whole shtick is he has no luck. The first thing, yeah, like I said, this turn is to get Silas to finish off the faceless and for Arthur to chip the next one. So that Silas can EP it and then also fight the next one on enemy phase. So we can just repeat the same cycle again. Corrin, like, I mean, it's important that Corrin flies for this map, but after, like, from this point, it's kind of like Corrin does kind of have a dead turn here since Corrin's just dedicated to finishing off these last two faceless. But you do need, so Cheeky got 6 turns this map by private quartering abuse Jacob to Wyvern Lord so that he could marry like a female Corrin and just fly her around. But here, since like Corrin needs to be flying for various reasons anyway, I just use the Heart Seal now, and because I have access to the Raider Axe that Cheeky did not from Renown, I can just fight with Corrin because like Cheeky didn't actually use Jacob to fight; he just used Corrin. And yeah. So Corrin murders this faceless with attack stance. I mean, the Raider Axe has like he had a little bit of crit on the other faceless, so it's like he can usually make up for a miss, but it's like it is what it is. They were mostly like displayed 95s anyway. That guy seemed dodgier in particular because they were on terrain. So yes, Arthur finishes that off, like chips it, and Silas finishes off. Silas' EXP is actually very tight. He barely hits level 10 by the end of Paralog 1. All right, now let's move on to Chapter 8. Unlike Chapter 7, which was a route map, this is going to be a kill boss map. The boss Kilma is like kind of annoying. He's a sorcerer, which is a promoted class, and he has Nosferatu, and he stands on a gate. So, like, the benchmarks for actually killing him are going to be a little tight. This Corrin's a little magic blessed, so I only use one Spirit Dust here, but normally you'd actually have to use both Dusts and a Tonic here if you're, like if you're adhering strictly to binomials, to 90% binomials, that is. Or I think this one might be a little less than 90. I'd be like 88, but I don't remember. I'll look at it again and post it in the description. But what's important as a side objective for this map, in addition to Silas EXP, is visiting 3 of these villages. The other 2 on the left are like way too out of reach for me, so we use Elise to freeze this first guy, because normally he'd just visit that turn 1 enemy phase and you wouldn't be able to do it anymore. But by freezing him, we can visit that one turn 2 and get the other 2 that are in reach, one of which just being right next to our starting position with Effie. Silas took the Battle Seal off Corrin's hands because he wants to be able to like self-improve. It'll help him self-improve. I guess technically like that, finding a way to do it like this to get these kills on Silas without the Battle Seal would let Corrin not have to use a dust, but that's like really, really like so marginal. All right. Corrin, to kill the boss, needs to promote, like basically promote in his face with like a tome equipped. But I want to squeeze out one more level, which is why like I lunge like that to get in range of this fighter. And by the way, like I didn't even bother with tonics here, so like if Corrin's like really strength screwed, you could just use a strength tonic to kill that fighter still with the bronze axe. And so like it's all about right now. I want to change Corrin's backpack from Elise to Felicia because of the 2 extra damage that Felicia provides. And Elise needs to be visiting that village anyway since she has more move. So yeah, I don't want to lunge this mage obviously because that would put me in freeze range, but I kill it and that fighter's going to get me the last amount of EXP I need to get level 11. In this game, promoting early is sometimes really good. Is like if you can get away with promoting early statistically, promoting early is really, really good because your EXP game becomes way, way, way better later because your internal level's so low. This is why Camilla gains a hilarious amount of EXP, but like the reason why she just like feels like privileged by it is because her stats are like totally a 21 unit, rather than a 10-1 unit. But this is kind of like going to be a similar situation with Corrin in this playthrough, where their stats are so comical that, like, why the fuck do they care about unpromoted levels? They just want those, like, they just want the benefits of promoting, and they'll just make up for it with really fast EXP gain later. So Kilma's a bitch to kill, but I convoy my items that aren't a tome, and I, like I said, promote in his face. I almost discard it because I'm so used to, like, using Master Seals in the convoy and, like, using them, like, on prep screens. But yeah, so there we go. Malignite, because we need to use tomes, and it's kind of like why we have this whole build going on. Eventually, Corrin does spend some time in Wyvern Lord, but that time is not now. Right now, I just need to be spamming tomes because the one-to range is amazing, and there's really, like, no other benefits. Like, there can be no greater benefit right now. So Silas finishes off this fighter, which, like, it's kind of, like, stupid of me to, like, not be using a sword to just finish him off, but I want the lance rank. And Odin, who is our new unit. By the way, I'll talk about Odin and Niles more next time, because I didn't really have time here. But yeah, Odin, his one of his greatest contributions for this run right now is preventing Silas from getting killed and letting me finish off Kilma. I will see you next time for Paralog 1. Peace.